Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. In this video, I'm going to show you how we can change the domain name of the users in Microsoft 365, right? And what are the challenges which may arise after the domain change, right? So there are different approaches we should take it, right? So as an IT team or as a team who actually is going to do this activity, right? So activity is not only for a single user. When there is a scenario when we have a, a organization who has acquired our whole organization, or we are acquiring another company separately, but once the acquisition is completed, we have or we wanted to go with that respective domain, right? So that means, let's say we have abc.com domain in our current environment or organization, and there's another organization who has acquired the our company or organization, and now we wanted to change the domain for all the users across the organization, right? And to do that, definitely we would be able to do that in bulk as well, right? And but to do that, we have to run some of the PowerShell scripts. So I'll show you that PowerShell script as an example. I'm not going to run it through, but I'm going to show you the script, and also I'm going to show you by doing it for a single user and what would be the impact on that user account, right? So on the user account impact, there would be a lot of changes happening across the SharePoint and OneDrive, especially for URLs, wherever the user has accessed files, shared files. So accessibility of files would not be impacted. Those files which individual user has created, but the files which are shared by other users and the same user to other user, right? That means all those URLs and those files would be impacted, right? And for that reason, definitely we should also look into the settings, or the file resharing capability is another one which is needed there, right? So let's say I have shared bunch of files, and upon domain change, the same links won't work because the user UPN was changed and the URL is not going to work at all. And to remediate that one, definitely user should change or share another file, or user has to share all those files again. And there are some of the tools which does all of that, which creates those links, or which allows all those shared files and documents to map those links from existing links to the new link, and it is going to be allowing us to make the existing links work, right? So that is something which can be done using third-party tools, right? I haven't used those tools yet, but definitely those are available in the market, and upon exploring and seeing how it works, and definitely it's going to help in that situations and scenario as well, right? But in this video specific, I'm going to show you how we can change the domain of the individual user, and I'm going to log into that user account and show you by accessing the Teams, Outlook, OneDrive, SharePoint, and everything, right? So without doing that, or without wasting much time, I'm going to show you some of the steps before, and then we will go through the steps. So let me share my screen quickly here, and we can go through it, right? So I'm on admin portal. So here's the one of the user account I am going to change from this domain to another domain, right? So this is that user, but to do that, I have some of the steps collected over here. So what is the problem statement that we are trying to solve, right? So this is the problem when after changing UPN or domain, and user's URL does not work, right? Or SharePoint and majorly OneDrive, it does not work, and it leads to this error message, right? So I'll show you that as well. This was 404 file not found, and the solution. So these are the solution steps that we can do, right? By going to, but these steps are not really going to work because on individual user account, they might not be that enough on the technical side. And that is why we as an IT pros have these steps to take, right? So we need to connect to SP service on SharePoint admin portal, and then we have this commandlet here, which needs to be executed on the respective individual user account. So I'm talking about individual user account level. And if we wanted to do it in a bulk for maybe hundreds and maybe thousands users, then here's the script that we need to execute, right? So we need to prepare a CSV file, and then we have this whole script which is going to be executed for each of those users, right? And to do that, we should have all the users existing as well as new OneDrive URLs collected with us, right? So I'm going to make a video for that as well separately, but I wanted to show you this, so that's why I would show those. And then these are the additional steps. And here's one of the command which is going to show us whether that is what or the URL mapping is working after changing the domain, right? So let's see this in action, right? So until unless you don't see in action, you would not understand this, right? So here you can see that I have this domain, which is mytos.info, right, which is the existing one. So click on this one. So I'm going to show you only for a single account this specific video, but definitely this can be done in bulk as well using PowerShell script, right? And on the script level, there is a limit as well. So you need to remember that as well. So each script can accommodate up to 200 user identities only, and you need to run those scripts one by one. If you have thousands and more, then you have to make the script scalable that way so that the script can execute that number of accounts. All right. So from here, we can simply click on this pencil icon, which is edit. And from here on the domains drop down, you can see the bunch of domains over here. So I'm going to add this domain, which is a brand new domain I wanted to go with, and this is the existing domain, right? And click done. So once it is done, you can see it is going to change into this domain. Now, to accept this change, we need to save these changes. So I'll copy this UPN and save the changes, right? So once these changes are saved, and to go back and show you, this user account is already logged in over here, right? So I have logged into this account, right? And so I have logged into this account already, and you can see this account is logged into Outlook, Teams, and other bunch of applications can also be accessed from here. Even I would show you to SharePoint and OneDrive, right? And the very important part of this is that, let me close this out. OneDrive should work from over here. So from these 3 or 9 dots, and you can see a bunch of applications, right? And users should be able to use it and access it basically. So let me get the password. So this is the temporary password I have created. And sign in. Let me authenticate this request. You can see that it has accepted the change to domain, right? And let's do it. Right. So now it is logged in with that respective domain, and if I have to go ahead and see it over here, it is still showing the existing domain, right? Now, this change is still going to take time to propagate and show up everything as expected on this user account. So for that, what I will do is I will completely log out this account from all of these applications, from SharePoint, OneDrive, Teams, and Outlook as well, right? And then we'll try to sign in again, and it should close all of these. And what I will do is now I will log in with new account as a new domain, right? So let me give it credentials, right? It identified, let me give it password. All right, it is authenticating, so let's authenticate with two-factor. All right, here you can see that the domain with this one, it is accepting, and simply it should log in, right? Now it is logged in. Even after change the domain, there is no impact on this one, but you would see the impact on some of the applications. For example, OneDrive, right? So OneDrive is definitely is not going to work as expected at all. Why? Because it is still not yet synchronized. That means it did not see any impact coming in, right? And it is not immediately going to allow the users to access. And for that, we need to make the appropriate changes, which I showed you on the document where we need to run one of the script, right? You can see that Teams is opening, Outlook is also opening, SharePoint is opening, and I will show you OneDrive is active or not. So let's see if it is working or it is still redirecting. Okay, so you can see that it is working. Over here you will see the domain with UPN of that new domain basically, right? And existing domain was something else. But over here you would see the same existing domain. Why? Because it is still redirecting to the same. And let's see on the email side. Okay, perfect. Here you can see the same. Now you can see here it is showing both. Why? Because it is trying to map the changes and accept the change from this domain to this one for the same account, right? And this way it is going to take a bit of time. And over here also you will see the existing, because it did not fully move to the new domain, and that is why it is showing over here, but it is not moved yet. And on the SharePoint side as well, showing this existing domain, right? But still it is allowing users to log in, right? So now I will jump onto the SharePoint PowerShell and we'll look into it, what is there, right? And if it is still pointing out to the existing domain URL, that means it is on the existing one and it is not changed at all, right? So let's jump on. So before that, I would connect to the PowerShell over here by running this command, right, which is connect SP service. So this is the PowerShell commanded to connect to the SharePoint Online. And you might have used and seen this before, right? So I will simply connect it. All right, that's very perfect. It is connected. I will get the screen and I will just go to the next step where I would show you whether it is still pointing out to the existing one. And to do that, I simply change this to info. So this should look like this one. It should be underscore and not the. Let's copy this out and back and paste it here and run it. Perfect. So here you can see that this commandlet is not executed on the existing. Now let's do one thing. Now let's change it with a new domain, which is 365 days underscore tech. Okay, so here you can see that the URL has been changed. That is why it was working. You can see this URL is perfectly changed for this user account with the personal and the UPN of that user account, right? Now, this is the commandlet and the surprising thing over here is that without executing or requesting the commandlet, which we have over here, which is this one, right? Now let's try one thing. Simply run this commandlet, which is on 365days.tech, and see how that goes, right? And run it. See, you have to open this commandlet to request that site personalized for this respective identity, right? Now it is already moved and changed, but in many cases it does not happen automatically. That is why OneDrive does not work. And OneDrive does not work, that means you would see 404 file not found error when user opens or user tries to open OneDrive at all, right? So in that case, it does not work. But in this case, when I change the domain, it did automatically work. Changed the previous domain and this new domain over here, right? So let's open here. It entered. So it is not showing anything on the previous domain, but it is showing on the new domain after domain change request, right? So now this is perfectly fine. Let's say I have to copy this URL and I will try to open it up in the another tab over here and see how that goes. Perfect. You can see that this user's OneDrive is working, but still it is not yet fully functioning because it did not switch over from the existing domain to the new domain, right? And this is very important to do and communicate across the organization, across the users, so that they can expect what is going to happen, what is going to not happen, whether they are going to lose any data, documents, or anything, right? One thing is very important to know here, the documents which are shared, and those shared links won't work for those users, right? And that is why this is also needs to be kept in mind and communicate the same across the organization, right? So this way, it is going to be helpful for users as well as the organization to make the appropriate changes and let people know what is expected, what is not expected, and everything together, right? So this way, it is going to be helpful for the users as well and the organization as well. So basically, this was the domain change from one to another for the organizations when they have merger and acquisition activities, as well as and organizations are moving from their separate or parent organizations and they wanted to separate it out to the brand new entity, right? So in that case, this can also be one of the activity for the whole organizations if they have maybe 500 or 1,000 users across the organization, but still they wanted to keep the user experience untouched stable, or the user experience should be stable without any issues, right? That means they have to do all the checks at the right point, and then everything is going to be set up and working as expected, right? So I have covered for a single user account, but definitely when it is broader for maybe 500 or 1,000 and more than that accounts, then definitely it needs to be planned and covered and everything together, right? So I've tried to cover everything for single user account point of view, but as I said, if it is a broader view for the whole organization, thousands and more users, then that needs careful planning and everything together, right? So yeah, that is what I wanted to show you and cover up in this video, right? So do let me know if you have seen any of such scenarios, any of problems or anything that you wanted to show and share, right? So I would be happy to collaborate on that. Also, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends and people around you. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you will get to see every new video which is coming online or coming on the channel every day, right? So yeah, that's all for this video. Hope you like it. Hope you learned something new. And yeah, that's all for this. Thanks for watching and bye for now.